Oh, hi. I haven't seen you there. Alright. Spooky season. Can you see my spider? It's right here. Can you see it? So, today I come to you with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 spooky books. Spooky, witchy, creepy, I don't know. If you have not seen my cozy video, go see it. Or I'm gonna drink your blood.
Stop it. Get some help.
Shall we begin? First one. We're gonna talk about classics because they're classics and they need to be read and mentioned. So I'm gonna start with Dracula. It's one of the best classics I've ever read. I really enjoyed that. It was so spooky. Okay, it was actually really creepy. If you have not read it, if you've seen movies, I know you know the idea of Dracula and vampires. It's so creepy and it's written so nicely. The old hunt is, I need to gather my thoughts. It's actually so creepy. It's about a man who comes to live in Dracula's house, and throughout his eyes we kind of discover the creepiness and the mystery of Dracula's life. There's so many creepy things there. It was actually scary to read. I was not afraid, I was just like creeped out because I could see in my eyes Dracula climbing on walls. I don't know. But if you like the spooky vibe and many people told you to read it but you never did, this is your sign to read it, okay? It's your sign. Another classic that you have to read, is Frankenstein. Frankenstein. It was actually so good. Mary Shelley was like, I don't know, 16 or 17 when she wrote that. It's such a beautiful story. It's not only very creepy, but it touches upon topics such as relationships between the maker and the creation. And it's so philosophically complex, like the idea of, you know, being created and not willing to exist, the idea of not being understood by the society. It's a very sad book. It's very sad, but it's so complex and so beautiful. And of course it's spooky. So apart from the fact that it was absolutely creepy, it was just gorgeously written and I enjoyed it very much. We have few more classics. Where's my blood? Juice. The yellow wallpaper. Look how tiny it is, okay? Look how tiny it is. And that is your sign. I have to read it because of how tiny it is. We follow a story of a woman who's being told by a doctor to live in a house without having a relationship with people or without doing anything, basically, in order to restore her health. In the years the book was written, doctors had this idea that if you want to overcome the depression, you have to stop doing everything. So we follow a story of a woman who's being basically trapped in the house, and because of the lack of people, she starts to go crazy. She starts to see a shape of a woman in a wallpaper that is in her bedroom, and it drives her insane, but then it drives her drawn. It's a story of a fallen woman. It's a story of a mental health, of, you know, depression, but the depression that develops further, becoming something more important. And that was beautiful. It was also extremely creepy, but it was also very complex. And look how tiny it is. So just another classic. Can you see my spider? I don't know why I'm keep on, whatever. You can read horrors, you can read whatever you want, but if you have not read Edgar Allan Poe, he is a king of horror. He created horror. This particularly, I have the collection of tales. My favorite one from these are, well, we have the Cast of Amontillado. We also have The Fall of the House of Usher, and this one was absolutely great. I mean, I have not read every single one of these, but I've read few and I've read his poems. I'm kind of recommending his creation, not certainly this book, but, well, everything. If you want to get into the vibe of, you know, spookiness, you can also listen to his poetry. I will show you, okay? I will have my laptop now. I will show you the reading of Raven, okay? Oh no, actually I'm just gonna edit that. I'm just gonna edit that. So now enjoy a few seconds of Raven.
Once, upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary.
Oh, hello again. Did you like it? I did. So, yeah, that's it. Just read something from Edgar Allan Poe if you want to get spooked out, because he's pretty good. Next one. We have The Other Side. I will read you a synopsis. Oh, there is no synopsis. It's an extremely absurd book, okay? It's sort of like a Franz Kafka style of writing, or maybe Witold Gombrowicz. I don't know if you read him, probably not. But very absurd and very abstract. So this book follows a man who's been visited by this very mysterious guy who sort of invites him and his wife to enter the world of perfection. He tells him that everything has been planned out, their trip and their eventual staying in this kind of utopian place. Random dude, okay? Random guy. He just tells him, let's go, everything is done, you just can come and it's perfect, okay? So it does sound a little bit weird. Well, they go. They enter this very utopian, creepy, mysterious world that is very different from our own. And I'm not gonna tell you more because it's just so absurd and so abstract. It's even hard. One, it's hard to talk about. Second of all, I don't want to spoil it to you, but if you like weird, creepy stuff full of absurd, I recommend that to you because it was really weird, but I loved it. I don't know if we could call this a classic, probably not, but you know, being vampire myself, I could not recommend this. This is probably the best thing that was ever written. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Definitely kidding. I have not read this in a while. I've read that when I was in my teenage years, but I loved that. And I love rewatching movies every time it's October time. And I'm thinking about rereading that because this one is in Polish, by the way, because I read that when I was reading in Polish. You know the Twilight, okay? You know it. It's like so bad, but so good, you know? Like when you talk about movies, they're of course cringy, but they're just so pure and you can't hate them. You can't. I loved them. I loved them. You know, the story is cute too. I mean, we love it. We all love it. So why not reread that? And I think that's exactly what I'm gonna do. We have one, well, I wouldn't say it's middle grade because it was too creepy for me, but maybe it is a middle grade. Pan's Labyrinth. You may see the movie. I have not seen a movie, but I will do that soon. I just wanted to read the book first. It's basically a novel that follows a story of this little girl who moves with mother and mother's new guy to this house, and near the house she discovers a secret passage to a different world. She does not exactly enters the different world, but this is sort of her quest for the book, to be able to enter it. And it was very creepy. If you know the movie, you know that, you know, the creepy creatures that are there, but the whole vibe of it is so interesting. It's just so mysterious and gloomy, and I don't know how to explain it. I feel I will be like more able to talk about it when I see the movie, but the book was really good. It had this very mystical vibe to it, and especially if you love fantasy and fantastical creatures, you're gonna love it. And then I have something for my graphic novels lovers, my comic novels. I have two comics. First one, this one is definitely middle grade. It's Courtney Crumrin, The Night Things. Just look at the cover. It's just spooky. It basically follows a story of a girl who also moves to the house with her parents. She moves to the house of her uncle. And, you know, she's a young girl, she has her own issues, growing up stuff, coming of age, all of that things. But there's something weird going on in the house. And something weird about her uncle. What is it? What is it? I don't know. The cover definitely does not say it. Yeah, well, of course, the house is haunted, basically, and full of creepy creatures, okay? And it's so good. Like, the drawing is so spooky, and the creatures are so nice. It's not a spoiler, I'm just showing you. It's just, you just can't, you just look at it, okay? Look at it. You just look at it and you know it's spooky, because it is spooky. I read only volume 1 because it's so hard to get book in English in Poland. I would have to ship it, and one, shipping is expensive. Second of all, I can buy that in Book Depository where shipping is free. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Another comic is Monstress. It's not a middle grade. It's actually very brutal, full of blood and deaths and tragic happenings. Yeah, from that perspective, it was a little bit too brutal for me because I do like things not brutal, but I still loved it. So essentially it is a story about a girl who wants to find out who she really is, and she wants to discover her past. Put in very shortly. It's very complex. The universe is complex, the politics of it are so complex. But if you like that kind of idea, a very complex magic system and politics that are extremely explored, you're gonna love it. It's also very brutal. It's full of magical creatures, and her herself is like a very interesting character to follow. And the drawings are gorgeous, are beautiful. I want to have a comic. I actually do have a comic. We do have a comic, but it's me and my partner. We have Elliot the Fox. You can follow it, but I would like that to be more explored. But whatever. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, I'm sorry. Ah! Whoops. Is that it? I think that'll be it. They were my spooky, autumnal, creepy, witchy reads. I have so much more, but it would be too long again. I think it's still pretty long. It's like 25 minutes. What the hell? I don't want to edit that. Okay, that's it. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. Now I'm gonna drink my blood and clean my room. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye!